The sky screamed as the Odyssey's hope plummeted through the atmosphere of the uncharted Deathworld, a jagged wound of fire and smoke trailing behind it. Inside, Captain Lena Voss clung to the command console, her knuckles white, her crew's shouts drowned by the shriek of tearing metal. The human colony ship, carrying 3,000 souls fleeing Earth's collapse, had been yanked out of hyperspace by a gravitational anomaly. Now, it was a burning spear aimed at a planet that pulsed with unnatural green light below. "Brace for impact," Lena roared, her voice cutting through the chaos. The crew, engineers, medics, families, strapped into crash pods, their faces pale but defiant. Humans didn't run from fate, they punched it in the face. The ship slammed into the planet's surface, carving a kilometer-long scar through a jungle of writhing, bioluminescent vines. The impact crushed bulkheads, shattered viewports, and silenced the engines. Lena's vision blurred as her pod's restraints bit into her shoulders. Blood trickled from her temple, but she was alive. So were others. She could hear their groans through the wreckage. She kicked her pod open and stumbled into a world that felt wrong. The air was thick, humid, laced with a metallic tang. The jungle pulsed, vines slithering like snakes, their tips glowing with venomous light. The ground quivered beneath her boots, as if the planet itself was breathing. Lena's HUD flickered, warning of toxic spores and radiation spikes. This wasn't just a planet, it was a predator. "Survivors, report," she barked into her comms. Scattered responses crackled back. 1,200 confirmed alive, 800 missing, the rest, gone. Among the survivors were Dr. Amir Khan, the ship's xenobiologist, and Chief Engineer Maria Cortez, already jury-rigging a perimeter of salvaged turrets. Lena rallied them at the ship's core, a crumpled mess of steel and sparking wires. The Odyssey was dead, but its fusion core still hummed, giving them power, for now. The first attack came at dusk. Creatures emerged from the jungle, six-legged beasts with exoskeletons that shimmered like oil, their mandibles dripping with acid. They moved too fast, adapting mid-charge to dodge turret fire. Lena's pulse rifle roared, tearing through one, but another leapt onto a medic, dissolving his arm into a steaming puddle. Screams filled the air as the survivors fought back, their makeshift weapons, plasma torches, sharpened debris, clashing with claws and venom. Amir, wide-eyed, scanned a dead creature. "Their DNA mutates in real time," he said, voice shaking. "This planet's ecosystem evolves faster than we can kill it." Lena spat blood onto the ground. "Then we evolve faster." By dawn, they'd lost 200 more. The jungle didn't just fight, it learned. Traps set the previous night were bypassed. Turrets were toppled by burrowing roots. Maria rigged a sonic barrier, but the creatures adapted within hours, their hides growing thicker, their movements silent. Lena's crew was tough. Earth's collapse had forged them in fire, but this planet was a crucible beyond their nightmares. Desperation birthed ingenuity. Amir discovered the creature's blood carried nanoscopic enzymes that bonded with human tissue. "It's not just poison," he said, holding a vial of glowing ichor. "It's rewriting their biology." Lena, staring at the oozing wound on her arm from a claw swipe, felt a strange heat pulsing beneath her skin. She didn't tell anyone. Not yet. The survivors built a fortified camp, using the Odyssey's hull as a skeleton. They worked through exhaustion, their hands blistered, their eyes haunted. Lena led scavenging teams into the jungle, where vines lashed out like whips and the air itself seemed to whisper threats. Each trip cost lives, but they returned with glowing flora that powered their tech and strange minerals that hardened their tools. Humanity's stubbornness was their edge. Where aliens might flee, they dug in. On the 10th day, a new horror emerged. A survivor, Private Ruiz, screamed in his sleep, his skin bulging as if something writhed beneath it. By morning, his arm had sprouted bony spines, his eyes glowing the same green as the jungle. "It's in me," he sobbed before collapsing. Amir's scans confirmed it. The planet's enzymes were rewriting human DNA, bonding it with the ecosystem. Ruiz died hours later, his body half dissolved into a pulsating mass that slithered back into the jungle. Lena's wound burned hotter. She hid it under her sleeve, but her reflexes were sharper, her senses keener. She could hear the jungle's pulse now, a rhythm that felt alive. She didn't sleep that night, staring at the stars through a gap in the camp's roof. They were trapped, but surrender wasn't in her blood. The camp held, but barely. The jungle's assaults grew bolder, its creatures larger, their forms shifting mid-battle. A spider-like beast, the size of a tank, tore through the sonic barrier, its legs sprouting new joints to evade plasma fire. Lena's crew fought like demons, their salvaged weapons glowing with heat, but the losses mounted. Only 800 remained, their faces gaunt, their hope fraying. Amir's research became their lifeline. He'd isolated the planet's enzymes, dubbing them xenozymes. They didn't just kill, they integrated. "It's like the planet's trying to make us part of it," he said, his voice a mix of awe and dread. He proposed a radical idea: controlled exposure. Inject small doses of xenozymes into volunteers, letting their bodies adapt without fully transforming. "It's risky," he admitted. "We could become monsters." Lena volunteered first. Her wound was already changing her. She could feel the jungle's rhythm in her bones, sense predators before they struck. "If we're going to survive, we need to meet this planet on its terms," she said. Maria, ever pragmatic, rigged a crude injector from medical scraps. The first dose burned like fire, Lena's veins glowing green under her skin. She collapsed, convulsing, as her crew watched in horror. When she woke, her vision was sharper, her muscles stronger. She could smell the acid in a creature's saliva from 100 meters. The jungle's whispers were clearer now, not words but instincts: danger, hunger, survival. The xenozymes had bonded with her DNA, giving her the planet's strength without losing her humanity. At least, she hoped. Others followed. Maria, Amir, and a dozen others took the injections, each enduring the agony of transformation. Some didn't survive. Their bodies rejected the xenozymes, dissolving into grotesque hybrids that had to be burned. But those who adapted became something new. Faster, tougher, their wounds healing in hours. Lena's crew began to fight like the jungle itself, ambushing predators with uncanny precision, their movements synchronized with the planet's pulse. The camp evolved too. Maria used the planet's minerals to forge armor that shimmered like the creature's hides, resistant to acid and claws. They wove vines into shields that pulsed with bioluminescent warnings when danger neared. The humans weren't just surviving, they were building, turning the planet's weapons against it. But the jungle fought back. A new predator emerged, a leviathan of bone and sinew, its body shifting to mimic human forms, luring survivors into traps. It killed 50 in one night, its screams echoing Lena's own voice. The crew's morale cracked, whispers of abandoning the camp growing louder. Lena, her eyes now flecked with green, climbed the Odyssey's wreckage and roared, "We don't run. We bleed, we build." Her words, raw and primal, reignited their fire. Amir's scans revealed the Leviathan was a nexus of the planet's ecosystem, a living hub controlling smaller creatures. "Kill it, and we might slow the jungle's evolution," he said. Lena planned a hunt. She led a team of the transformed, now called hybrids, into the jungle's heart, where the air was thick with spores and the ground pulsed like a heartbeat. Their new senses guided them, dodging vines that lashed out and pits that opened without warning. The Leviathan ambushed them, its body splitting into a dozen human-like forms, each wielding claws that burned with acid. Lena's team fought with feral intensity, their xenozyme-enhanced bodies matching the creature's speed. Lena drove a vine-woven spear into its core, her arm glowing as she channeled the planet's energy. The Leviathan screamed, its forms collapsing into a writhing mass, then stilled. The jungle's pulse slowed, just for a moment. Back at camp, the hybrids were heroes, but fear lingered. The untransformed whispered about monsters among them. Lena's wound, now a lattice of glowing veins, marked her as different. She caught Maria staring at her own hands, where scales had begun to form. "We're still human," Lena said, but her voice trembled. The jungle wasn't just changing their bodies, It was testing their souls. On the 30th day, a signal pierced the sky. An alien ship, sleek and silver, descended, its hull unmarked by the planet's wrath. The rescuers, a coalition of galactic species, stared at the human camp in shock. "You survived a death world?" Their leader, a crystalline being named Zykar, asked. Lena, her eyes glowing, smirked. "We didn't just survive. We built." But Zykar's scans detected the xenozymes. "You're contaminated," he said, his voice cold. "You're no longer human." Lena's crew tensed, hands on weapons. The jungle whispered to her, urging her to fight. She silenced it, stepping forward. "We're human enough to kick your ass if you try to quarantine us." The alien ship loomed over the camp, its scanners bathing the survivors in blue light. Zykar's coalition, crystalline beings, insectoid drones, and gas-based entities, demanded the humans surrender for decontamination. Lena's crew, now 600 strong, half of them hybrids, formed a defensive line. The jungle pulsed in sync with their heartbeats, as if ready to join the fight. Lena faced Zykar, her glowing veins stark against her skin. "We're not your lab rats," she said. "This planet tried to kill us, and we made it our own. You want us? Come and take us." Her crew roared, their makeshift weapons gleaming with the planet's minerals. The aliens hesitated. Humans were a young species, untested, but their defiance was unnerving. Zykar's scans revealed the truth. The hybrids weren't just infected, they were bonded to the planet's ecosystem. Their blood carried xenozymes that could spread, potentially rewriting alien biology. "You're a threat to the galaxy," Zykar said. Lena laughed, a harsh, guttural sound. "Good. Maybe the galaxy needs a wake-up call." The standoff broke when the jungle attacked. A swarm of winged predators, their bodies shifting to mimic the aliens' forms, dove from the canopy. The coalition's drones fired, but the creatures adapted, their wings hardening against plasma. Lena's hybrids moved like a pack, their senses linked to the jungle's rhythm, tearing through the swarm with vine-woven blades and mineral-forged guns. The untransformed humans fought too, their courage unshaken by their lack of enhancements. Amir, now sporting claw-like fingers, hacked into the alien ship systems using a salvaged interface. "Their tech's advanced, but it's rigid," he said. "They don't adapt like we do." He uploaded a virus, cobbled from human code and xenozyme patterns, that scrambled the ship's defenses. The coalition's drones faltered, giving the humans an edge. Maria, her scales now covering her arms, led a team to sabotage the ship's landing gear, using acid-resistant tools forged from the planet's minerals. The jungle aided them, vines parting to clear a path, as if recognizing the hybrids as kin. Lena fought at the front, her body a blur of speed and strength, her spear piercing alien armor. The coalition, unprepared for such ferocity, began to retreat. But Zykar unleashed a weapon, a sonic pulse designed to disrupt the xenozymes. The hybrids screamed, their bodies convulsing as the enzymes rebelled. Lena fell, her vision swimming, the jungle's whispers turning to shrieks. The untransformed humans rallied, dragging their comrades to safety, proving that humanity's strength wasn't just in their biology but in their loyalty. Lena rose, blood dripping from her eyes, and silenced the jungle's voice in her mind. "You don't own me," she growled, to both the planet and Zykar. She charged the sonic emitter, her body resisting the pulse through sheer will. Maria and Amir joined her, their transformations stabilizing as they fought side by side. Together, they shattered the emitter, the jungle's pulse steadying once more. The coalition fled, their ship limping into orbit. Zykar's final transmission was a warning. "You've become something else. The galaxy will fear you." Lena, panting, her crew battered but unbroken, replied, "Let them. We'll be ready." The survivors rebuilt, stronger now. The hybrids trained the untransformed, sharing their enhanced senses through blood transfusions, creating a unified colony. They forged a city from the Odyssey's wreckage, its towers woven with living vines, powered by the planet's core. The jungle no longer attacked, it listened, as if humanity had earned its respect. Lena stood atop the highest tower, her glowing veins a beacon in the night. The stars above felt closer now, not a dream but a challenge. The galaxy might fear them, but humans had always thrived on fear. They bled, they built, and they would conquer, not just this death world, but any world that dared to test them.